situation in Ukraine. President Biden sent a direct message to Vladimir Putin and the Russian people today to choose diplomacy over war.
WGN's Patrick Elwood is following the latest developments in the newsroom for us. Pat?
Ben and Loris, good afternoon. This wasn't on the president's schedule when he woke up this morning, but this afternoon, Mr. Biden spoke directly to Russia, its citizens, and U.S. citizens directly, articulating where the situation now stands.
The United States and NATO are not a threat to Russia. Ukraine is not threatening Russia. Neither the U.S. nor NATO have missiles in Ukraine. We do not have plans to put them there as well. We're not targeting the people of Russia. We do not seek to destabilize Russia. Did not.
That is President Biden at the White House less than 2 hours ago as he addressed the situation directly to the American public on the current state of affairs. For weeks, Russia has amassed troops along its border with Ukraine. The president saying the intelligence community now puts that number at 150,000 troops there. At issue, Vladimir Putin does not want Ukraine to join NATO, and many foreign affairs experts say he has often lamented the loss of Ukraine and other Eastern European countries that formed after the end of the Soviet Union. The president and Putin spoke Saturday directly. More recently, Germany's chancellor and Putin have spoken within the last day. In his address today, Biden says he is encouraged to hear reports that some troops are pulling back, although that has yet to be verified. But the overall theme to his remarks today were, to the Russian people, you are not our enemy, and we remain open to negotiation and peacefully resolving this situation.
From the beginning of this crisis, I have been absolutely clear and consistent. The United States is prepared no matter what happens. We are ready with diplomacy to be engaged in diplomacy with Russia and our allies and partners to improve stability and security in Europe as a whole. And we are ready to respond decisively to Russian attack on Ukraine, which is still very much a possibility.
Reuters is reporting that Russia has already launched several cyber attacks against Ukrainian banks and government agencies. Markets globally have been plummeting in reaction to all of these tensions, and analysts predict that crude oil here in the U.S. and gas prices would rise dramatically if an invasion occurs. It's already taking effect on the market. Obviously evolving. We'll have the very latest coming up in the 5 p.m. hour. Ben and Lotus, back to you.
All right, a lot to keep track of. Thank you so much, Patrick.